Okay, I am out in the woods that I frequent for searching for wild mushrooms, and we just had a lot of rain here in central Pennsylvania from the recent hurricane that just came through, but we got a fair deal of rain, so I'm imagining there's going to be some stuff popping up and growing right now. I'm not really expecting to find a whole lot of edible species, but that's okay because I just like to get out and walk around and see what I can find. So let's see what we got. Right away I can see these little guys right here. I believe these are some kind of wax cap. Let me see here. They're pretty small. They're really neat looking little mushrooms though. Yeah, they're not cinnabar chanterelles because they have gills. They look really nice though. I actually think I'm going to take some of these with me, and I have some little sample bag that I'm going to put these into, and I want to try my hand at, or at least attempt to cast some little tiny mushrooms in resin, and I just want to see what happens. They'll probably rot, I'm imagining, but you won't really know until you try, I suppose. But I'll look into these a little better and see if I can give a proper name that I will put at the bottom of the screen right now. Alright, I'm going to put these in my sample bag real quick, and I am just going to keep walking, and once I find something else I will go ahead and I'll restart the camera, and I'll just edit the different cuts together. Here's a perfect example of why I love mushrooms so much, why I think they're so interesting. Right here in this little area is just so many different kinds. Look at this. Okay, wax cap, I believe. Okay, I think this is a small chanterelle, or else it might be an old wax cap. Oh, okay, that's just an old wax cap. We got these little guys here, which for some reason I've always really liked small mushrooms. I'm actually going to make a little pile. This little guy here. Let me flip my camera so that I can actually, there we go. That's better. That guy's pretty neat. It was actually growing right off of this piece of bark right here. There's the end. If we look over here, we have some false coral. Can't remember the name of this, but it's pretty interesting looking nonetheless. We got these little guys, which quite honestly, I'm not 100% sure what these are. Maybe, I think they're some kind of lactarius. Do they have milk? Maybe not. I don't see any latex coming out. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what these are, but I like how this is growing out of this little bunch of tree litter right here. That can go here in a little pile. And I thought I saw some other ones. Maybe not. Well, that's just one of the things that I love most about mushrooms, is just there's so many different kinds that you can find, and quite often they'll be growing within very close proximity together. Little puffball, what kind are you? I think this is just a simple little pear-shaped puffball. I don't think it's gem-studded because it doesn't have little nodules all over it. Let's see. Stupid mosquitoes, dude. See how that's pure white in the middle? If you ever find puffballs, it doesn't matter if it's this kind or like a skull-shaped puffball or a purple spored puffball or a giant puffball. You always want to check the interior to make sure that they are pure white. This one, apart from where I touched right here, it kind of stained a little bit. It's a little off color, but like the rest of it is completely white. You want to make sure that any puffball you're eating is pure white inside. Whenever they start turning yellow or brown, that just means that they're too old and they're just not worth eating at that point. I don't think they're toxic, but I've never heard anyone say, yeah, go ahead and eat those brown puffballs. Well, fall is definitely on the way. Here is the first honey mushrooms that I found of the season. I believe these are Armillaria mellea. Let's see. Oh yeah, without a doubt. These are actually really good. I'm going to harvest these and I'm going to take them home and I'm gonna cook them up. I have a whole video on these. If you're interested in seeing that, I'll link to the video in the description. But yeah, these are definitely honey mushrooms. And I'll tell you, these are actually really, really tasty. I'm gonna get these, and oh, here's another one. I think I'll just leave that one go. But it's a good example to show you the different size. We'll just put that one there for spore. Yeah, no, Armillaria mellea. Delicious. Ooh, here's a really, really nice example of a milk mushroom. Let's see what kind. Oh, this is a really nice one. Oh, okay. Lactiflus volumus. It's pretty good. I mean, it's not like super, super young, but it's totally edible, and it's a really, really good size. You can see right there at the base where I plucked it, it's seeping out a white latex liquid, which is the same liquid that you use in latex gloves. Pretty much anything that you use with natural rubber, this is the kind of rubber that you're dealing with. Now, obviously, the rubber that you are using for those is sourced from rubber trees, not mushrooms and stuff like that. It just wouldn't be feasible. But it's the same exact compound. It's just made by a fungus that grows in the ground. These are rhizomorphic. What am I even trying to say? Rhizomorphic. And they grow in association with, I think, certain pine trees and maybe oak. I can't quite remember. But yeah, this is going home and I'm cooking it up for dinner. Oh, wait a minute. For you. Right here, I don't remember what these are called, but this is actually a good time to do some comparisons. These look very similar to these guys, but they're not the same. I just call these false milkies. They are definitely different mushrooms. You can see these ones are a little, the gills are a little creamier. They're about the same distance as far as gill spacing goes. But these ones have like an orange tint, and they even have a little tiny bit of latex, but nowhere near as much as the real milkies do. I'm actually kind of glad these are here so that I could show you that. This is why you got to be really careful whenever you're hunting wild mushrooms. Choice edible, questionable edibility. I have no idea if these are considered edible or not. I don't think they are. But this is why you need to be extremely informed whenever you go to cook something up and consume it. Because one little mistake could literally cost you your life. But this is a good one. I can't remember the exact scientific name of these guys. Turned on my flash so it's a little clearer. Yep, this is definitely, I guess, a false puffball, you'd call it. I call them pigskin poison puffballs because, well, they kind of look like a pigskin football. Whoop. Now, you don't want to eat these. They're not edible. But they do look really neat whenever you cut them in half and look at them with like a cross-section view. Check this out. They almost look like a truffle. But yeah, you don't want to eat these. They're not considered edible. I don't know if they're like super toxic. They're definitely not considered to be an edible species. They look really neat though. I've always liked the way these look inside. Let's put that guy back there. Let him spore out. Another little milk mushroom up here on this hill. Probably Lactiflus volumus again. Let's see. Whoop. Yep. Well, that's a really good example too. Look how, see how nice and creamy white the gills are, and these just have an excess amount of latex in them. Here's some, I think these are trumpet chanterelles. Yep. Pretty nice ones too, pretty good examples of them. Take some of the bigger ones. There's not a whole lot, but there's enough up here to have a little snickety snack. Sorry about my hand being in the way there. Got some over there too. Got some right there. Let me get another close-up of these guys. See how they're not uniformly colored all the way down? They actually change from a very vibrant orangish yellow to more of a dull, creamy, beigeish yellow, I guess you could say. And just like all other chanterelles, well, almost all other chanterelles, these don't have gills. These have ridges. Some chanterelles are smooth, but most chanterelles do have these false gills, I guess you can call them, but they're not actual true gills, they're just ridges. Not quite sure what this guy is. Obviously some kind of polypore. Yeah, I couldn't even begin to make an identification because polypores are, like, apart from the edible ones, I'm not really all that great with them, I'll be the first to admit. But this buddy seems to be enjoying them. Big old slug. I think I interrupted him. Sorry, bud. Yeah, no, that's actually really neat looking, whatever they are. If anyone thinks they know what these are, then please let me know in the comments. And if you look right up here, right up there, hello. There's a little teeny tiny guy hiding in the crease. And an ant carrying another ant. Alright then, we'll just let him go. Well, here's one that's worth looking at. This is actually a really pretty mushroom, if it's the one I'm thinking of. Yep, I do believe it is. This is a destroying angel Amanita. Let me pick it here. Yep, I'm almost positive that this is a destroying angel. You can see it's completely white. Stalk, cap, gills. Everything on this is completely white. It has a pretty pronounced ring, and it has a very obvious bulb at the bottom of the stalk. Now this is one of the mushrooms that you really, really have to watch out for whenever you're out foraging for wild mushrooms, because it may seem kind of, like innocent and good to eat, but this is one of the most deadly mushrooms that you can find here in Pennsylvania. Stupid mosquitoes are just eating me alive. I'm gonna put some bug spray on here in a sec. This will literally liquefy your kidneys, and it will liquefy your liver. So this right here is the reason why you have to be pretty well versed before going out and foraging wild mushrooms for the dinner table. But yeah, they're really pretty. Just don't eat these. I just found a few of these little guys. This is a nice little surprise. Here, I picked a couple so I can show you a little easier. They're not very big. These are sweet tooth. Stupid mosquitoes. And let me get a close-up. The reason they get the name sweet tooth is because instead of gills or pores,
they have, oh my god, dude, these mosquitoes, I even have bug spray on.
Instead of gills or pores, they actually have little teeth on them. And these are really, really good. So I'm going to find as many of these as I can in this area and move on because the mosquitoes are absolutely atrocious. Wow, I almost walked right over these guys. Look at these. Really huge bunches of coral mushrooms. I think this is straight branched coral, which I don't think is edible. Maybe I'll take some of these home and try to identify them. I can't quite remember what kind of coral is edible as far as terrestrial corals go whenever they look like this. There's some out there that are choice edibles, and there's some out there that I don't think they'll kill you, but they can give you, like nausea and diarrhea and stuff like that. But boy, they really look neat. It's a really good cluster too. I'm just going to take this with me. And since I only live like 5 minutes from here, if I determine these to be good to eat, then I'll just come back up and I will get them. Here's a pretty nice cluster of some type of terrestrial coral. I always sound like Rick Grimes whenever I say that. Coral! Coral. I think these are edible. I can't remember exactly what they're called. If I can properly identify them, I'll put the name in the video here momentarily. If not, I will obviously not consume them, but yeah, I'll take some with me just in case. There's a lot of it over here, and I'll tell you, I find this coral all the time. And you see how this whole area is just pine needles. Like, it's a really thick blanket of pine needles. I find this type of coral in here all the time. Let me see, I'm sure I can find, oh yeah, literally right next to me. This coral has a tendency to, whenever it gets a little older, the tips of the, I guess you call stalk, the tips of the stalk or the stipe start turning like a grayish black color. I think whenever they're solid, creamy white like this, I think they're safe to eat. But like I said, I'm going to do a recon on these on the internet and see if I can find out exactly what they are. Either way, I'll let you know if I'll let you either know the name or I'll let you know if I didn't come to a definitive conclusion. I can't remember what these ones are called. There's quite a few of them around here. Some over there, some over there, but I'm pretty sure they're edible. I'm not going to put them in the same bag as my ones that I can identify with a lot of certainty, but I am going to take these home because I'm almost positive they're edible mushrooms. But either way, they're really, really pretty. Really pretty. I like how this one has kind of a little mutation where it's growing gills out of the top of the cap. I think that's kind of funny whenever mushrooms do that. Don't worry, little guy. I still think you're perfect just the way you are. I'll let you know what I think these are whenever I take them home and make an identification. I'll put the name that I think they are, like, you know, right here. See, one more mushroom worth mentioning over here, and I think I'm going to call it a day just because these mosquitoes are absolutely voracious. But right here on this log, stump I guess, is an old man of the woods bolete mushroom. That's actually in pretty good shape too. Now these are edible. They're not particularly, you know, like considered a choice edible. You can see they don't have gills. They have little teeny tiny holes, little pores, I guess you can call it. That's where the spores are deposited from. And well, even where I'm touching it here, you can see that the flesh kind of stains a slight dull red color. And the top, I guess it looks like an old man of the wood. It's because it's supposed to look like a big old beard, like a gray and black beard. Don't really know. But I have eaten these before. They're not bad. It's definitely something that you get, you know, kind of as a consolation prize for going out and looking for choice edibles. But I picked it. I'll eat it. But yeah, I think I'm going to head home because, like I said, these mosquitoes are ridiculous right now. And I even have a long sleeve shirt on that I, like, pull down while I'm walking. And I have insect spray, you know, bug repellent on it. They're still biting me all over. So, yeah, you can really see this stain red now. But, yeah, I'm going to take these home and cook them up. So, thank you very much for watching. If you have any suggestions on what you'd like to see, let me know. Let me know down in the comments. Please subscribe. Like this video if you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, feel free to dislike. And I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.